Karol Józef Wojtyła, known to the world as St. John Paul II, was not born into comfort or privilege. His story began in Wadowice, a small town in Poland, in 1920, a time and place marked by uncertainty and turmoil. His early years were shaped by the shadows of war and loss. By the age of 20, Karol had already endured the deaths of his mother, his brother, and his father, leaving him to navigate a world that seemed intent on testing his resilience. Yet, rather than allowing these hardships to define him, Karol carried within his heart a quiet hope, a hope that would one day ignite the world. Living under Nazi occupation during World War II, Karol saw firsthand the cruelty and suffering that human beings could inflict upon one another. He witnessed friends and neighbors being taken away, lives destroyed, cultures suppressed. Forced to work in a quarry and a chemical factory to avoid deportation, he found solace in prayer and the arts, nurturing his love for literature, drama, and philosophy. It was in these darkest moments that his faith grew stronger and his sense of purpose became clearer. Despite the constant threat of death and persecution, Karol persevered, seeking truth and beauty wherever he could find them. When the war ended, Poland fell under the grip of communist rule, a regime that sought to extinguish religious expression and stifle the human spirit. Karol, now a young priest, stood as a beacon of hope in this oppressive environment. He ministered to the people, spoke of love and dignity, and refused to let fear shape his actions. His courage and compassion drew others to him, and his influence grew. By 1958, he was appointed as the youngest bishop in Poland, and then, in 1964, he became Archbishop of Krakow. Throughout these years, he championed the rights of workers, families, and the marginalized, always reminding people that faith was not a relic of the past, but a living force able to change the present. In 1978, Karol Wojtyła was elected Pope, taking the name John Paul II. He was the first non-Italian Pope in 455 years, a sign that change was in the air. From the moment he stepped onto the balcony at St. Peter's Basilica, his smile radiated warmth and his words resonated with courage. Do not be afraid. Those 4 simple words, spoken at the dawn of his papacy, became the anthem of his life and leadership. To a world weary from conflict and uncertainty, he offered a message of hope, a reminder that faith could overcome fear and that love could triumph over hatred. John Paul II's papacy was marked by tireless energy and an unwavering commitment to reaching people wherever they were. He traveled further than any pope before him, visiting 129 countries during his 27-year pontificate. Whether meeting with heads of state, embracing children in remote villages, or gathering millions of young people for World Youth Days, he brought with him a presence that was both fatherly and revolutionary. He spoke to the hearts of the suffering, the doubting, the hopeful, and the lost, reminding them that their lives mattered and that their struggles were seen. Perhaps his most profound impact came in Eastern Europe, where the grip of communism seemed unbreakable. John Paul II returned to Poland in 1979, and his visit became a catalyst for change. Standing before millions, he called for spiritual renewal and national unity. His words inspired the Solidarity movement, which eventually led to the downfall of communist regimes across the region. He did not wield weapons or command armies, but his faith, bold, uncompromising, and filled with hope, became the force that toppled walls and liberated nations. Yet John Paul II's life was not without suffering. In 1981, an assassin's bullet struck him in St. Peter's Square, leaving him gravely wounded. Miraculously, he survived, and in a gesture that stunned the world, he forgave his attacker. This act of forgiveness was not born of weakness, but of profound faith, a faith that believed in the power of mercy to heal and transform. Throughout his later years, as illness and frailty took their toll, he continued to serve with humility and grace, showing that true strength is found not in physical might, but in the ability to endure. to love, and to hope. John Paul II's message was never confined to words alone. He lived his faith visibly, inviting others to do the same. He challenged young people to embrace their dreams and their responsibilities. He encouraged families to cherish one another and to build communities of compassion. He spoke out against injustice, poverty, and violence, reminding the world that dignity belongs to every human being. He reached across religious and cultural divides, seeking dialogue and understanding, convinced that peace is possible when we walk together as children of God. One of his most enduring invitations was, "Open wide the doors to Christ." These words, spoken with conviction, were not a call to retreat from the world, but to engage with it fully, bringing light into places of darkness. He believed that faith was not an escape from reality, but the means by which reality could be transformed. Over and over he proclaimed, "Do not be afraid, not because there was nothing to fear, but because hope is stronger than fear, and love is stronger than death." Today, the legacy of St. John Paul II continues to echo across continents and generations. His courage in the face of adversity, his compassion for the suffering, and his unwavering hope in the goodness of humanity remain a testament to what is possible when faith and love are set free. He taught that no matter the hardships we face, loss, illness, persecution, uncertainty, we are never alone. Christ walks beside us, sharing our burdens, lighting our path, and inviting us to trust. Each of us faces our own moments of darkness. We may feel overwhelmed by the challenges of life, by sorrow or doubt, by fears that seem insurmountable. In these moments, we can remember the example of John Paul II, the Pope who smiled at the world even in pain, who forgave even when wronged, who hoped even when hope seemed impossible. His life reminds us that suffering does not have the final word. Faith, courage, and love can change history, beginning with our own hearts. So whatever you are facing today, hear those words again. Do not be afraid. Open wide the doors to Christ. Trust that, just as John Paul II believed, Christ walks with you. You are called to live with hope, to embrace life with courage, and to bring light to others. The world still needs your smile, your faith, and your love. And the story of St. John Paul II is a living reminder that hope, even in the darkest times, can change the world.